It's Thursday. I said I'd show you WRX roll cagey type stuff and things. Done quite a lot of it. Haven't filmed any of it yet, so we'll get on to that now. I showed you the basic kit we get from, I think it might be Racecraft or something he's called, down in Christchurch. I should look that up before the video. Might put a link in the description to his business. That's the sum total, not that one. That's the stainless steel handle for that. That's the sum total of all the pieces that are left over at the moment. And I've been busy cranking away and almost, it's not 100% finished, almost finished the main cage part of the job. Not secured to the mount plates yet, using, in fact, no mount plates in the front at all, actually, if I'm honest. Just a couple of plates sitting there with a bit of tube underneath it just to sit that at the right height. Might be making life difficult for myself doing that, but that's all right, I'll figure it out. Reason for that is pretty standard practice. Is you can build the main cage within the car and you can shuffle it backwards and forwards and lift it up and down to suit, to help you get to the difficult parts. For welding, you can imagine welding in between the body and the end of the front lateral there, where the main hoop goes. That would be quite difficult. It's about it's about 10 millimeters there, 10 millimeters clearance. So doing that with a TIG would be fun and games. So this particular one, windscreen bar, might be back a little bit further than what most people probably would do. I tend to do that just to make sure it's definitely out of your line of sight and stuff. And you've got a little bit of structure runs across there for the windscreen anyway, so putting another bit of structure directly underneath that may or may not help. I've kind of moved it back a little bit to spread the load out a little bit. If you have a big whoopsie, a better chance of spreading it over a greater area, so to speak. Yeah, might sound like a lot of fluff, but that's just my theory anyway. Dropper bars. Now, normally these are dead straight. Normally, they don't have to be, but they normally are. And in this instance, I decided to put a slight kink in it to follow the line of the body a bit more. I know that makes it weaker with forces that are coming down on here. It's not that much of a kink that I would expect that to bow out if the car's had a big whack on the top of the roof. And let's face it, if the whack is that hard that you're going to crush that out, then you probably want a little bit of give anyway, because it'll go straight into the poor little occupants inside the car. So that's given us significantly more clearance between the dropper bar and the steering wheel. If I got the tape measure and went straight down, it would come to about here, which only gives you sort of this much room between steering wheel and dropper bar, whereas now we've got a lot more. So checked with the customer to make sure he was happy with that. He loves it. Checked with Motorsport New Zealand to make sure that's okay and kosher. They're fine with it. Bearing in mind the main hoop that does the bulk of the job on the roll cage, that is also bent to shape with the body, and so are the front diagonals. So if anyone's going to have a cry about it, go on, have a cry. Probably no one's going to listen. Harness bar ends up being, sorry, it's not a harness bar, is it? That's a dash bar. The dash bar ends up being exactly where the factory one was. So, excuse the mess over here. That is literally a box of rubbish that I kicked over because there was something that went in there that I wanted. So I can replicate these mounts and put that on that dash bar, or I can chop those off and modify them slightly and put them straight on that dash bar, and that'll get our steering wheel attached somewhat more securely than the Irwin quick grip clamp that's on there, which might hold to get it on a trailer, but you certainly wouldn't want to drive. Now, harness bar. I did say harness bar before. Look, it's staggered. Uh-oh. It's staggered. Oh no. All the internet know-it-alls will lose their shiz. They did with that, when that went viral before it was finished. A few know-it-alls were banging on about harness bar not being in a straight line, so you're not transferring loads properly and blah blah. They tried to use a whole heap of engineering terms and make themselves sound really smart, but yeah, I was laughing at them too. And actually, what will really, I haven't said anything in public because people will not have figured it out. What will really make people lose their mind is that the door bars are staggered as well. So that one there, that's lower than the one on the outside, so that they line up with the harness bars to give us good strength and everything, and feng shui and triangulation, and makes it look good, and the seats fit properly, because I'll show you later on. These bars, literally the door bars, literally tuck inside the cutouts in the side. Cutouts? Scallops? What are we going to call these? So the bars literally come through here. There's millimeters to spare. Our nice OMP Tower Stashy seats. Bling bling. I think I've got one of those upstairs for the march for the passenger side. Right, it's been pretty hot, so I haven't been working particularly fast. It is Thursday Arvo. I did say to him it'll be finished Saturday. I'll probably need to pull finger, or that won't be happening. It's close. I'll probably get it done tomorrow if I work at a reasonable pace. Haven't been putting in 8-hour days. Lazy Glenn. Okay, kind of boxed myself into a corner. Get it? Boxer, Subaru. Anyway, spent a bit too much time fluffing around with minor details. Kind of running out of time now, but it's a lovely job. All the notching's all beautiful. These are a pain in the, there's not much light down there, is there? Pain in the brain to weld, and that up there is not a hell of a lot better. Fortunately, as you can see, no mount plates at the front just yet, so you just pop those undone, slide it all back, lift it up, you can get all the front and these bits easier, and drop it down, do all that. So most of the cage is pretty much done. People will throw spares about this, so don't care. They can do that, it's fine, it's not their car. As you can see, I've got the bars lined up pretty bloody nicely. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do when it's asymmetrical. Like I said before, one bar at the back there, harness bar is different height to the other, and so are the door bars. It throws everything out of whack. You can't just copy one side straight across to the other. You have to do each side as an individual unit. Alrighty, Friday Arvo. In fact, Friday evening even. These are all buzzed on there. They always look nice in person, and then you come along with the camera and every last little defect stands out like a sore thumb, and it looks not so great. But they're all pretty much sorted. Obviously I've got to finish building the box. I've made the foot plates, put the cage on top of the foot plates, then I'll build the box underneath. Most people probably think that's a weird way to do it, but there's method in the madness, and brake lines have all got to be put back in place when we're done. I think he's possibly doing something with all that anyway, based on the amount of chopping I see going on. Gussets for the window, a pillar to the front laterals. I'll show you this side, because to be honest, this side came out better than the other side. Look at that. That's not bad, eh? Pretty good for a rough bugger. So that's that. That is tied in awesomely. I've got a list on the whiteboard there of things to do, so this chap can come and get his car back tomorrow. So I've got to do backstays. No diagonals or anything going in the backstays on this one. It's just a bar literally from here to where those holes are in the rear bulkhead, I'll call it, strut tower. So I've got to put a mount plate on there, which shouldn't be hard, and bar from there to there. So 2 of those to do, maybe an hour or something like that, a little bit more. All that other stuff is all done. Weld these door bars together or put a plate on there with some lightning holes to make it look fancy. I'll check with him, see what he wants to do. Let him know where the hours are at the moment, see how much he wants to spend. Steering column mount. So cheats way around that, seeing as that bar center line isn't exactly, there's a vacuum cleaner, there's a box of rubbish, is in the exact same center line as the original factory component. I could literally chop that there, cut it in half, and then slip it over the new bar, the new dash bar, and weld it back together, and make some like bushes to go on either end of it, and use the factory part, or make something new. That's easy enough to do as well. I've got to put this back in here for him. I'm assuming he wants that. I'll ask him. I haven't done that yet. Ask him if he wants those mounts back in there. That'll be a piece of cake to do that. Looks like there's something on there, certainly some earth points and stuff, so not sure if these other ones need to be here to mount the actual dash. Again, I'll check with the customer. I'm going to need that. See how I don't just throw things on the floor, paper underneath it to keep it safe. Oh yeah, I blew the doors off too. The cage was so fantastic, blew the doors off. Just helps you get in and weld the front of all the foot plates, I guess you call them. Alright, we're done. Ran a little bit late on this one. Got some fancy plates on the door bars there with lightning holes. Awesomeness. Matches the fancy plates there, gussets with lightning holes in there. Beautifulness. Good fit with the seats, as you can see. Just touching there. The bolts actually aren't done up on that tight, but just basically touches, so that's as good as you're gonna get it. Everything's come out pretty awesome. Backstays are in there. A little bit tricky welding onto the factory galvanized material if you leave it even the slightest little bit. Things go all yucky on you, but we're done. It's good. Customer's happy. Time to do a logbook application, roll cage homologation, get her all done. OMPs, same as I think the passenger side of the March has got one of those in there. Same brand at least, but I think same seat. So yeah, all good. Right, cheers, mate.